Here in America, many Christians will display a small nativity scene or creche as part of their home Christmas decorations. When I was a kid, we used to place it under the tree. Of course, my brother and I would always play with the animal figurines and the wise men who came with this set. It was part of our Christmas fun. Today, if you visit an Italian home around Christmas time, you might not only find a tree, but also, most probably, you'll find a Presepio, the Italian name for the model nativity scene. However, the Presepio is much more important to Italian Christmas tradition than to our traditions. Across Italy, starting December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, large and sometimes elaborate presepi are displayed in churches, piazzas, and private homes until January 6th, the Feast of the Epiphany, which is the date the three wise men came to honor the baby Jesus. The figurine of the baby Jesus is placed in the scene on December 24th, Christmas Eve. In many parts of Italy, especially the South, building a Presepio is an important family and community Christmas ritual. The tradition of displaying a model nativity scene has been traced back to an event created by St. Francis of Assisi in the year 1223 in the Italian village town of Greccio. St. Francis wished to teach the ordinary and illiterate people about the Nativity, and he did so by bringing in a live ox, a live ass, a straw-filled crib, and other full-size props to reenact the birth of Jesus. He performed this Mass outside in a wooded grove to add to the realism. Since then, Italian presepi have developed over the years into extravagant and elaborate creative works of art. Instead of a simple depiction of the grotto and manger, a presepio may depict the entire town of Bethlehem, and these creations may be extremely large, 400 square feet or more. They can be electrified with lighting, and many have water features. These large presepi are often found in public buildings or spaces. The golden age of this presepi art was in 18th century Napoli, under the rule of the Bourbon royal family. Presepi became a must-have item for the Neapolitan nobility, and Napoli today remains the world center for presepi art, with workshops that have been in continuous operation for centuries, creating model buildings and figurines. Another form of presepio is the Presepe Vivente, or large living nativity. This is a large production that church parishes and even entire towns may participate in. Townspeople become actors in costume, playing the roles of Mary, Joseph, the wise men, shepherds, and others. The youngest member of the town or parish, of course an infant, plays the role of Jesus, These Presepe Vivente may last several days, with the entire town being transformed into Bethlehem, often with appropriate animals brought in for authenticity. The Presepe Vivente in Greccio, where St. Francis first created his living nativity, attracts thousands of visitors from all over Italy for the annual reenactment. In the town of Basilice, the locals turn the entire medieval city center into 40 different scenes in various buildings. You can even purchase a guided tour that covers the route of 1.5 kilometers. So, whether it's a family presepio that has been passed down from generation to generation, or a large-scale project that may take 10 months to prepare, Italians enjoy this celebration of Christmas very passionately. Did St. Francis realize way back in 1223 what a tradition he had started? We'll never know. But even today, the Presepio, or Christmas nativity scene, adds to the delight and joy of Christmas, reminding all to remember the birth of Jesus. forget the first Christmas I got my two-wheeler bike from Santa Claus a long, long time ago during the 1950s when we lived in Jackson Heights, Queens. But if my family had lived in Italy, in Napoli, Palermo, or maybe even Roma, I would have gotten that bike not from Santa Claus, but from La Befana. Italian children do receive some gifts from Babbo Natale, or Father Christmas, on December 25th, but often they don't open them until January 6th, when La Befana arrives with the bulk of their presents. So who is this wonderful person? And why does she give children presents? And why on the date of January 6th? La Befana is a kindly old lady who flies on a broom, delivering presents to good children, or giving naughty ones carbone, lumps of coal. She's so kind, however, that the coal may really be candy that looks like coal. She's also covered with soot as she comes in the house through the chimney, just like Babbo Natale does. This happens the night before January 6th. Parents warn their children not to stay up to see her, or she will give them a bump on the head with her broomstick. They open their presents the morning of January 6th. The origins of the La Befana tradition have been traced by scholars all the way back to Roman times, and they even believe that Italians have been celebrating La Befana since the year 800. Some say the entire Christmas celebration has its origins in the Roman feast of Saturnalia, which took place in winter. The early Christian church merely replaced Saturnalia with Christmas, so the people would find it easy to accept the new beliefs of Christianity. Scholars have found a character similar to La Befana called La Strena, a gift-giving woman from the Saturnalia period. There are many legends of La Befana, but I'd like to just summarize them here. Some say she was a very sad woman who had lost her only child in the slaughter of the innocents that King Herod had done when he had heard that the baby Messiah was being born in Jerusalem. She kept herself from her sorrow by keeping busy, sweeping her floors, and keeping an immaculate home. One day, 3 wise men stopped by on their journey and asked her where to find the Christ child. She didn't know, but they invited her to join them in the search. She turned them down, kept sweeping, and later changed her mind and tried to catch up with them. She decided she wanted to bring gifts to the child too. She never met up with the wise men, but when she finally came to see the baby Jesus, an angel told her that for one night of the year, all the children of the world would be hers. The angel sprinkled magic dust on her broom so it would fly. These blessings gave her tremendous solace for her own lost child, and she was filled with joy to bring gifts to all the children of the world on January 6th, the Feast of the Epiphany, the 12th day of Christmas, the day the 3 wise men arrived in Bethlehem to present their gifts. Some say her name was derived from the Italian word l'Epifania, meaning the Epiphany. As we celebrate here in the United States a very long Christmas season, in Italy it is also a very long Christmas season lasting several weeks. You'll find dolls and images of the Christmas witch, La Befana, all over Italy during the season, and all Italy awaits her arrival on January 6th to complete the long, happy, and somewhat exhausting Christmas celebration. Merry Christmas.
Tu scendi dalle stelle, o Re dal cielo, e vieni in una tua fredda costo l'avermi amato. Tu scendi dalle stelle, o Re dal cielo, e vieni in un agro tuo freddo cielo, e vieni in un agro tuo freddo cielo. Oh bambino mio divino, qui a tremenda, qui a tremar, oh Dio beato, oh quanto ti costò l'avermi amato, oh quanto ti costò l'avermi amato. Tu scendi dalle stelle.
My name is Cindy Daly Veranek. I'm here today to talk to you about one of my family's favorite Italian traditions, the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Christmas is above all a Roman Catholic religious holiday. Today it's easy to forget that with all that it has become. But for devout Catholics, Christmas Eve is a day of fasting and abstinence. Only one meal with no meat is allowed. So an obvious solution is to have a huge meal in the evening, consisting of a variety of seafood. For many Italian Americans, this has become known as the Feast of the Seven Fishes. The Christmas Eve fast is common throughout Italy, and when millions of Southern Italians came to America to escape poverty from 1880 to the early 1900s, they brought with them their homeland's traditions and delicious recipes. Southern Italy has a bountiful coastline with every kind of fish and seafood. Plentiful and affordable, seafood has been a staple of the region for generations. As immigrants found new wealth here in America, they expanded their once modest Christmas Eve dinner into a feast. And by the early 1900s, many would begin calling it La Festa Dei Sette Pesce. No one knows for sure where the number 7 came from, or even if it meant 7 different types of fish. Perhaps it's 2 or 3 varieties prepared in 7 different ways. But most believe it's simply a religious symbol, perhaps commemorating the day God rested, or the 7 sacraments, or the 7 deadly sins, etc. But we do know the name, La Festa Dei Sette Pesce, originates from Italians here in America, because in Italy the meal is not called that. In fact, in northern Italy, the menu is more likely to include pasta dishes and other meatless regional dishes. I'm sure if you were to ask 10 different Italian Americans what the feast represents and what seafood is served, you would get 10 different answers. But the most commonly served dishes are bacala, sea bass, calamari, clams, eels, octopus, mussels, and shrimp. Today, younger Italian Americans include more expensive seafood, such as lobster, oysters, escargot, and sushi. Even today, the Feast of the Seven Fishes is still observed by many families. Typically, the entire extended family sits at a large and beautifully set table with many bottles of wine. There will be at least 7 fish courses meticulously prepared, usually by the elders of the family, with each course served separately over the course of several hours. After dinner and endless conversation, everyone goes to midnight mass and then returns home to eat some more. The table will be bursting with dessert, assorted Italian pastries and cakes, espresso coffee and anisette, and in my Sicilian family, a champagne toast to commemorate the birth of Christ. While the number and variety of fish served may differ from family to family, there is one thing that every Italian American agrees on. The Feast of the Seven Fishes is a celebration of heritage in a home filled with family and friends, with the most important ingredient of all, love. Buon Natale a tutti.